How serious is this?
Well, it's very serious. Now, Michael Cohen, of course, pleading guilty to charges that he was instructed by, according to court documents, quote unquote, a candidate to make payments to women who alleged extramarital affairs. Now, the timing of this came shortly before Election Day. According to court documents, Michael Cohen, the president's longtime personal attorney and fixer at the Trump Organization, saying that he was instructed to do so in order to impact the election. Now, the court documents do not state specifically who the candidate is. That said, the only candidate that Michael Cohen was working for at this time was then candidate Donald Trump. Michael Cohen, of course, now faces a jail time for these charges. Meanwhile, Paul Manafort, the president's ex-campaign chairman, found guilty on 8 charges of fraud. This is a victory for special counselor Robert Mueller's investigation team, which has, of course, focused on Mr. Manafort for his financial dealings. Now, we have new reaction from President Trump just within the last hour. He is set to speak to supporters in Charleston, West Virginia, just within the next hour. He told reporters that he was defending Paul Manafort. He called Paul Manafort, quote unquote, a very good man. He said that there was no evidence of Russia collusion. He went on to say that this was a sad day. Now, just last week, the president made similar comments to reporters here at the White House. This is the first that we're hearing from the president himself. He, of course, made no mention, and this is notable, made no mention of Michael Cohen in his public remarks. Instead, he opted to defend Paul Manafort, to say that there was no evidence of Russian collusion, and to not comment on Michael Cohen.
It's so interesting here, these developments these past few hours, Kevin. So then pushing this ahead, what happens next? You mentioned that Donald Trump is going to be speaking within the hour. Is there any thought that he might actually try to further address or even be pressured to address these huge events that have just happened?
Well, the fallout we're already seeing happening in real time here on Capitol Hill as lawmakers are still reacting in real time to these developments that have emerged just within the last 2 hours. Democrats are adamant that this not have any impact in what they feel could be an abuse of pardoning power from President Trump. We've heard from Democrats in the House of Representatives as well as the Senate, and from state lawmakers in states like New York, where several of these charges were actually filed, from Democrats who are concerned that the president could ultimately decide to pardon someone like Paul Manafort or Michael Cohen. Now, Republicans, for their part, I've spoken with 2 Republicans who work frequently with this administration as these events are happening. One source close to the White House said that they were still digesting this, and the second source echoed what President Trump had said in the sense that they feel that there has been no evidence of Russia collusion. The president set to give a massive campaign-style rally tonight in West Virginia, a stronghold for his political coalition. And the White House announced earlier this afternoon that he's going to be hitting the campaign trail between now and November, 40 days, a very aggressive schedule.